Hello, reading relatives. You are all looking very fabulous today, and I am so happy you guys are joining me for another book review by another Indigenous author. And today I will be reviewing Waubgeshig Rice's Moon of the Crusted Snow. So, alrighty, let's do this then. Yay! Hello, beautiful readers. Fitzoave. Welcome back, or very new. Happy welcomes to those of you who have not visited my channel before. My name is Kim, and this is my channel, Native Lady Book Warrior. Don't be shy. Have a seat, grab a snack, grab a drink. Those of you coming back, tell them to sit down. Just kidding. But I'm practicing my native auntie skills. So Auntie Kim says eat, get comfortable, and yep, stay tuned. Today, I will be reviewing Moon of the Crusted Snow by Waubgeshig Rice. Rice is Annishnabe from the Wausaksing First Nation, and this book is an apocalyptic, dystopian, kind of little bit of sci-fi-ish Indigenous fiction, right? I don't know. I'm so insecure when it comes to genres. Moon of the Crusted Snow closely follows two main characters, but there's one main character, and that character is Evan Whitesky and his wife or girlfriend Nicole Whitesky, who are Annishnabe. They live in their home community, which is Annishnabe community in Northern Ontario, Canada. Straight away into the story, we meet Evan. Evan, he is hunting his last moose of the hunting season, I believe. And then during that time, he's paying his respects to the life of that moose that he just took by offering tobacco. Then the book goes into some really, really awesome cultural norms and knowledge of that community. And Evan briefly talking about how he learned to hunt, the rituals of offering tobacco for that moose or just basically any life, him helping his dad with scraping of the hide, bringing his mom meat. So Rice awesomely sets up the community and the feel of it, and I could see it very clearly in my head, and I could probably even hear the characters. As the reader, we settle comfortably into the Indigenous day-to-day life of Evan, and then the power goes out, right? Like, the power goes out in the community, and the cell phones don't work, the internet doesn't work, there's no communication coming into the community at all, or any communication from the community to the outside. And I am sure there are people out there in the world who are like, this is kind of unrealistic. Like, come on, how do they not know what's going on? But my reservation, the Hopi Reservation, which is in the Four Corner area of Arizona, we're very far away from a lot of the city life. We're like 2-hour ride if we want to go grocery shopping, like for a lot of groceries. And some people are probably thinking, come on, man, they had to know something was going on. And I will tell you this, even on my res, things break all the time. We don't have really good cell service. The internet's weak. I mean, heck, probably for me to load up this video or any video that I usually load up, it takes quite a bit of time. In the beginning, I think it was taking me almost like a whole night to upload a video to YouTube. So that's just our life sometimes on the res, and we're kind of like in this mode of always having a backup plan or always fixing the broken stuff. Anyways, people then start to realize in the book that something has gone wrong, because the longer the power stays on, the longer those communication lines are down, the community comes together and they're just questioning, like, what is going on in the world, what is happening. And all of that, the writing is set up to build a little bit of tension, and you can see the stress building in in the community and with some of the characters, especially those who are leaders in the community. So this book was very close to home. I mean, not just me, myself as an Indigenous person, but all of us. I think in the beginning months of COVID, especially in the United States, the craziness that was going on, even all of our, there's so many videos out there of people like fighting over toilet paper and just all that crazy stuff. And I'm not going to spoil it, but there's some tension that is happening in this book at the beginning, and you can see people internally and feel them internally panicking because there is a winter like right on the horizon, and things get pretty tense, and people are wondering what the heck is going on, what is going to happen to us, why can't we communicate with anyone. Later on in the book, it's explored how they find out what has happened, but the specifics of that aren't explained. The specifics of how it happened, why it happened, but it's more of just the state of what is happening, and that what is happening on the res is also not isolated to just them. So the community, they are wondering how they are going to deal with this situation, and then like any other apocalyptic story, all the characters are, especially this community, they run into outsiders, or I should say outsiders run into them, right? That's more correct. And there's definitely like a wrench thrown into an already dire and stressful situation, and we see how the community is affected by this presence. And me, myself, I saw a lot of symbolism there. I saw a lot of symbolism with that outsider instead of a main antagonist. With that character, I saw overall representation of settler colonialism, oppression, and even internal oppression. So also in this book, there is some forewarning going on that is happening through dreams. I'm not going to say foreshadowing that's going on, because I don't know. Okay, I'll explain why in a little bit. But Rice does that through dreams, and those parts are definitely eerie in a way, but they're also pretty fascinating and beautiful. This is why I'm not going to call it foreshadowing but forewarning, and this is just me, Kim the reader. I saw those parts, that dreaming or those dreams, to be for me personally, they were spiritual and cultural. And I believe back in the day, well, actually, I'm not even going to say that, because I actually still do that now. I take those things seriously. I take those kind of a little bit of forewarnings where your gut is just telling you something, and even that is kind of like spilling over into dreams. But when I have a certain dream, I tell my mom, or I'll tell my grandma or my aunties, and or my other moms, I guess, and they tell me what I need to do to protect myself from maybe something that might happen, or what I might have to look out for, or how I can protect myself and get back in the right mindset. So I thought that was really cool, and it was probably one of my favorite parts in this book. So this book is divided mainly into two main parts, and they are autumn and winter, and the last part being spring, which is the epilogue. I found them to be relevant to their struggle and pre-struggle. When I think of fall is a season where we are readying ourselves. We're preparing for winter. It is a busy time, lots of stuff going on, and there's a lot of transitioning happening in order to prepare for that harsh season. And we see that transition happening all around us, right? We see the cold, we feel the cold, we see the colors, even the animals and plant life readying themselves for winter. The next section is winter. Winter is harsh, it's cold, and in this story, it's pretty brutal. It was a hard time for these characters and in the community. It's a time, winter is the time where the earth rests and life is silent, and we either flourish from our labors that we that we produce in the fall and the summer, or we suffer, right? We suffer through winter. And then the epilogue is spring. And I don't want to spoil the book, but to me personally, spring represents new life. It represents renewal and growth. And we definitely see cycles of seasons, right, happening in our life all the time. And I feel like in this book, there was also kind of cycles happening within the characters themselves and the community itself, whether that's on an individual level or all the way to just all their people. And those cycles, sometimes they can help us grow. They can help us grow into a person who is learning from everything, right? A person who is being observant, or we can have cycles within ourselves that are hurtful, that don't allow us to move forward, and we aren't observant enough to see that we need to change in order to transition into a more positive cycle. I don't know if that makes sense, but I might just be talking to myself right now. But I found that to be very interesting and cool. This book isn't a high action packed thriller with a fast paced plot and chaos and cliffhangers and and chaos around every corner. But what Rice does, and he does it really well, is he pulls back the reins on the plot and he slows it down. And even though the writing is sparse, there's not heavy detail going on, but we kind of take a better look at Evan's Indigenous community, and we see how cultural values and teachings and traditional knowledge and Native identity play a huge role in these events, or how they might not play a role. And I feel like in this book, that is where the beauty is. That's where the color is in this book, and the tone. I saw a truth, and I was also comforted by it, and I felt a sense of protection that I feel when I am home and when I am with my community. I feel like Rice did a really awesome job just opening that curtain a little bit and exploring Anishinaabe culture and traditions and knowledge, and how they value it and how important and essential it is. And I'm pretty sure Rice is only skimming the surface at that. And I thought that was really awesome in this book. I also saw so many parallels with Anishinaabe culture in this book with my own, not exact parallels, but I could connect with some of them. And I can't speak on all of them because I really don't want to spoil what happens in the book. But the part with the moose, that in the very beginning of the book where Evan is offering tobacco, and that was really nice. And I connected with that because for Hopi, there is an obligation and a responsibility that we take on and that we have for life, plants, animals and land. And for Hopi, when it comes to hunting deer, for example, we believe that an animal has willingly given up its life for us. So we do what we can to reciprocate that sacrifice. And we reciprocate it through offerings and rituals that we have. And I'm not going to go into specifics of what we do during that time because I don't know if I should. But I will say that during those rituals, there is a lot of honoring happening, and there's a lot of respect being given for that life. That was one of the things that I connected with in this book. This book was a fairly good read. It displays a lovely portrait and almost like that foundation of Indigenous resilience and strength, and how precious and vital that information is, and how important it is for that knowledge to be passed down and for its continuance. So my rating, I'm just gonna give it a solid 4. I think just because when we think about culture and its importance, especially in Indigenous communities, I hear so many times, like, I don't get it. I can't connect with culture. I can't connect with this community. But Rice did that really well. He gave us a really cool peek into a community. I really enjoyed that about this book. Even the language, the feel, the characters, it was all very, very cool and very awesome, and I enjoyed that. So yep, I give this book a solid 4 stars. I hear that Rice is writing a sequel for this book, so yeah, I'm definitely gonna be looking out for that. I'm gonna get that book, and I hope I can maybe possibly get an arc, so I'll definitely be looking out for that. So all right, everyone, my reading relatives, I hope you guys are all safe. I hope you guys are all doing well. And I appreciate you guys stopping by to watch this video. And I hope you guys are all getting ready for INDIGATHON, because I am so excited. I'm so excited for INDIGATHON, and I can't wait to show you all what I'm going to be reading for INDIGATHON. So my INDIGATHON TBR video is going to be going up pretty soon. So look out for that. So you guys have a good day, and I will talk to you soon. Okay, bye.